It's been a year since I've been full-time in photography, and anybody who tells you they haven't thought about quitting more than once is a goddamn lie. Keep watching to learn about all the lessons I've had over the last year and also about all the triumphs. So I look forward to sharing. My name is Jada, and I welcome you to the Fiercely Feminine Life, where we discuss all things motherhood, entrepreneurship, and women empowerment. Do you know what today is? So as you can tell, I am super excited today. A very special day. Today marks 1 year as being a full-time photographer, and I am so excited about that. Can't believe it's gone so fast, and also happy to still be here. The one lesson I have learned in this year is to always remember that I got this, right? So being full-time as an entrepreneur is hard AF, and it is not for the weak. And you listen and you are on the internet and you see all these glam stories about entrepreneurship, and they are showing you the highlight reel because this thing can be a doozy, okay? I think imposter syndrome has been very prevalent over this last year, because this has been a year where it's, as a full-time entrepreneur, you got to eat what you kill. And so it's always a constant grind and it's always a hustle. And, eventually I know I'm going to get to a point where I don't have to do as much hustling and marketing and everything will be like set to make people come to me. But for now, I feel like almost like I'm starting over as like an entrepreneur. Like, even though I've had my business for almost 9 years, 9 years. Even though I've had the business for almost 9 years, it still feels like I am brand new, because I've had to rethink and reshape all the ways I've carried my business over this time. Imposter syndrome is something that happens to everybody, whether you're an entrepreneur or an employee. It just doesn't matter, right? We always have these things where we feel like we're not good enough or we're not doing enough. And, I feel like as a Black woman, that's even a higher standard and a more of a burden on us, but we keep pushing. And so I will tell you that probably the most important thing is to always remember your why. And when things get really rough, just keep digging deep as to why you're doing this and what you can see for yourself and all the goals that you want to accomplish, because it's coming. You just gotta, get through all these lessons. So there's this game I play on my phone, and it's kind of like Tetris, but kind of not, but you gotta basically make these blocks, right? And sometimes you get into these impossible situations where they give you these 3 pieces and you have to figure out how the pieces fit, right? And when you're looking at those pieces, sometimes I'm like, there's no way I can make this fit. But I understand that they would not have given me those pieces if they didn't work, right? And so when things get really hard, I always have to remember, like, God has given me everything and all of the tools and all of the people and all of the opportunities that I need to succeed at life, right? And it's up to me to put the pieces into place and to make it work. And so anytime I get really down on myself, that is my go-to. It's like, I already have everything I need. I already have all the pieces I need. I just got to make it work. My second lesson is, do not be afraid to try new things. I think that, when you're a photographer like me and you're full-time, sometimes things can get kind of overwhelming, right? And a lot of times in this situation, people are like, I just need to make the ends meet. I'm going to do all these different types of things, right? Even if you weren't really focused on that, right? But what I've realized is that actually I've been the opposite. Niching down and specifically going after boudoir and branding clients has been a game changer for me. And it's also helped me just understand my markets a little bit better. And it's really been the thing that has kept me going. Don't be afraid to try new campaigns, new products, just new everything. I'm a photographer who loves products, right? And I love my clients to have printed work, and as you see, right? But the thing about that is there have been things that I haven't tried before and I wanted to try or sample. And so now it's new offerings. So don't be afraid to try a new product. Don't be afraid to introduce something new to your clients. Stop thinking that the way you have it is the way it has to be. Be open and be flexible to change. I've even started with a new genre, right? So this year I had opportunity to travel to Ghana with a travel company, and now I've added travel photography to my genre of work. It's something that is not far off, right? I've always traveled. I've always photographed women when I was traveling. And so this is just an opportunity now to work for a company specifically, create content and all the dope shots that they need for their promotions for future trips. And it marries the things that I love, right? It marries my photography, it marries my travel, my love of travel. But if I was not flexible or I was not open to new things, then this would have been something that I would not have tried, right? And it's been such an amazing experience. And I look forward to more things like that. Lesson number 3 is do not be afraid to invest in your business. We all know scared money don't make money. And when you're full-time, you do not have the luxury of wasting time. That's just how it is. As a full-time entrepreneur and you are dependent solely on your livelihood by what you bring in your business, you do not have the luxury of time to take your time and figure things out. Sometimes it's best just to pay somebody who knows what they're doing to teach you how to do it. This is the equivalent of going in the slow lane versus the express lane. You both can get to where you're going, but one's going to get you there a lot faster. And because you don't have that time to waste, definitely invest in your business. Over this last year, I've invested in marketing and ads mostly, just because I think those are the two places where I didn't know as much, right? When you're talking about, content and all those different things, I understand that stuff. However, as far as like marketing and really niching down and really getting those ads and scaling the business, those are the things I was lacking on. So I made it a point to invest in my business. I had 2 different programs that I was a part of, and those have been really great in growing my business. This is not to say that all of my marketing, all of my ads, and all of my funnels are where I want them to be. These things are still a work in progress, but I'm a lot further along than I was, and I'm a lot further along than some other people who might not have invested. Lesson number 4, systems will save you. There are so many people I talk to who are business owners who do not have their systems in place. And I'm actually going to do a video about all the systems and apps that I use to run my business. But let me just tell you, as far as contracts and invoicing and all these different things, when it's time to do these things and you're not really feeling well or you're not up to it, this is when the systems help with you being consistent, and that helps with you not having enough discipline. Having all these things in place keeps the train moving even when you need time to slow down. On those days when you're completely overwhelmed and just want to give up this whole thing and go back and get a job, trust me, this is where the systems help, because somebody can inquire and everything that's already ready to rock and roll, and you just go. Lesson number 5, take care of you. And I mean, find things outside of business that make you happy, things that you can go to and that can be an outlet for when you're overwhelmed and completely stressed out. Take time to sleep, take time to rest, and take time to treat your body well. Because if you don't, what I've learned in this last year is that your body will shut down on you. Your body will tell you enough is enough. Some things that I've implemented in order to take care of myself more is I've been doing better with working out consistently. I know for a fact that the days when I'm walking, running, or going to the gym, my mood is instantly better than those days when I'm not. And I'm still overwhelmed and stressed on those days, whether I do it or not. So I might as well get the workout in and treat my body well. Another thing I do is I lean on friends a lot. So I'm being very intentional about taking time to call friends, taking time to meet friends for lunch when the kids are at school and I have a little time in my business. Sometimes those are business meetings and sometimes they're not. But taking those times to really remember all the things that you really love about life outside of business is great. Now, if you're like me and you really get a kick out of your business, right? I really love photography and I love the business of photography. Very different than when I was an attorney and I had my own law firm. I did not like the business of law. I just didn't. And so because I like it, it's something that I feel like I can do all the time. And so a lot of times what I found is that I was not getting enough sleep and I was not taking days off and working just 7 days a week, right? And my body has shut down on me. And so typically I'm not a person that gets sick, but in this last year, there have been at least 2 or 3 times when I've been really, really sick. And I realized that those is because I didn't, I wasn't eating well. I wasn't working out like I was supposed to. I wasn't getting enough sleep. So my body was rebelling and telling me, hey, you're going to slow down. Don't do that. Lesson number 6 is find your tribe. Entrepreneurship, especially full-time entrepreneurship, can be extremely lonely. And a lot of times you're in one spot working by yourself all the time. And so ways to combat that are to find places where you can go to co-work, or working lunches with friends, or just meeting up with other entrepreneurs to bounce ideas off of each other, collab with each other. What I will say is this doesn't always need to be somebody in the same industry as you. And it's actually probably great if it's not, because then you can get a fresh eyes and a fresh perspective from somebody else who's not invested in, like, say, photography, right? And so some of the people I work with all the time are, makeup artists. I talk to stylists. It just runs the gamut. I have so many friends who are entrepreneurs. And I feel like once you become like a full-time entrepreneur, you kind of get into a different kind of network. And then, those people then become friends and those people become confidants. And so while everybody doesn't need to be in your same industry, it's also fun to have people who are in industry, because that way you can kind of bounce ideas off each other and also understand some of the nuances that go into your specific industry. In this last year, I've done a lot more networking. It's not always been my strong suit, not even when I was practicing law. But what I will say is networking and going out and meeting people has been so invaluable. And just, not everybody is a client, and that's fine. But sometimes you just never know which room you need to be in to meet the right person that's going to take you to the next level or make you see something differently and change your, outlook. So whatever you do, just make sure you find your tribe. That's so important. It's so important. Lesson number 7 is keep moving forward. No matter what happens, understand that entrepreneurship is a journey. It has its ups and downs. It has some good times and it has some bad times. And there are good days, there are bad days, and there are good months and bad months and bad quarters even, right? But you have to remember to keep moving forward. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I don't know how many times in this last year that I've thought about just quitting photography as a full-time person and going out to get a job. But what I had to realize and think to myself is the same energy that I would take to go apply for a job, interview for a job, and do learn something new. It's the same energy that I can then take to my business. And so when I think about it that way, I say all of the energy that I'm expanding trying to get a job could be useful for getting clients. And so when you look at it that way, you realize that it's not that bad. And, jobs don't happen overnight, right? But neither do clients. And that's okay. In those times when things are really, really bad, the number one thing I'm going to tell you is to just keep focused on the goal, right? Keep pushing out that content, keep talking to people, keep networking, keep reaching up, keep following up. Do all the things that you need to do to make your ends meet. Do not give in because it's hard, because life is hard, right? And nothing worth having has ever been easy. So keep focused on the goal. I hope you've enjoyed this video and would love to hear any words of encouragement or even thoughts and ideas on ways that you get through as a full-time entrepreneur. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. I'm going to be dropping a lot more information for entrepreneurs, for photographers, for women who need to learn how to pose their bodies. So make sure you hit the subscribe button and I'll talk to you later, all right? Peace.